As Dana said and made an announcement that he will never require UFC athletes to be vaccinated because he says he will never forcefully make another human being put something into their body. And I agree 100%. What do you think?
I agree 150 million%. Dana's correct. It should be that individual's decision because look, if you're telling me that taking the shot is 100 million% safe, I mean, I'm talking 100% safe. There's no little variance that could affect you this way or that way. If you're telling me it's safe and I have to take it because it's safe then I'd be okay. Yeah. Okay, you can get me, but it's not. It's been proven that it's not 100% safe. It's been proven that some people have gotten really ill from it. It's been proven that some people have died from it. You know, so for me, it's like Russian roulette, right? So someone's telling you, hey, there's a million bullets in here. I mean, I said there's a million blanks in this machine gun, but there's one bullet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you willing to take it? And you're like, wait a minute. Okay, there's a million bullets. Okay, the chances aren't good that I'm going to get it. But what if that first shot or the second shot is the bullet?
No, you're right.
That's Russian roulette. That's what you're telling someone to do. Play Russian roulette. Make it safe, and then do what you got to do. But until they make you do it, until the government, I'm talking, they pass a law where you have to do it, then okay, so we have to do it. By meaning that like what they did with schools, right? If you're not vaccinated, it's certain this, or certain that, they won't let you in school. And if you can't put your kid in school, you're in trouble. So it's kind of like one of those things, right? Until they make it like that, I would be like the same. It should be your choice, And even though I don't agree on how they get you to do it, it still should be your choice till they get you to do it, until they make it almost like impossible for you to ignore having to do something.
And I feel like it's like a book club now because like Pfizer, I guess, came out and I don't know for sure the details of the exact quote they made, but or statement they made, but they said basically that like after 4 months, or they said first 6 months, it starts losing effectiveness and you're getting another one, a third shot. And then now they're saying, I think 4 months or something like that. So now it's becoming apparent that it's going to be one of these things where they're just going to keep you taking these shots so that you stay, immune, and it's going to just keep leading on to other things. But I will say this from personal experience. So I don't know if I've had COVID. If I did, I didn't know it for sure. And nothing's affected me bad or whatever. So I don't notice anything that if I've had it. But I've passed a lot of tests, and I did get vaccine. And the vaccine brought me down worse than any sickness that I've had, as far as just how I feel. And then my lymph nodes are swollen, and my neck for like weeks. Is like it wasn't. Yeah, the vaccine was the worst thing that's happened to me, even including sickness in the last couple of years, I think. So I'm not a big fan of it. Too late for me. I already took it because I wanted to see my family and see people that could be vulnerable. But I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. Too late though.
For me, I took the vaccine in November in Abu Dhabi, of 2020. And I came back here to the States, and I just recently had it retested again in May of this year, my antibodies. And my doctor said that my antibodies are really low, so I had to redo it again. So I redid it again. So I agree with what they're saying in regards to the 4 to 6 month period, because it was roughly 6 months since I took my shots in Abu Dhabi that I had to redo it again. And I had zero effects, nothing. Yeah. I have zero effects on it. And, so I guess for those people that have had it, if they have their antibodies checked and they see where they're at, they may find that they don't need it. Or people that might have had it and don't know it, their antibodies will let them know if they've had it. Then guess what? You may never have to do it ever again. Who knows? They're not 100% sure on if you've had it, if you're immune for life. They're saying possible not. So the only way to check is the antibodies, right?
That's the same as the vaccine, though. And I think the smart thing, if it wasn't agenda-based with money and all that, I think the smart thing, if you were looking out for your people and being and doing the right thing, I think the right thing would be, like you said, test for antibodies, find out if you had it. If you've already had it, that's the best immunity ever, right? If you've already beaten it, your body can beat it. So you're good. You shouldn't have to take the vaccine.
It appears that way, yes.
Yeah, and then for the people who haven't had it, which I think the majority of people have had it, and now they're getting vaccines. and they might just get these new mutated versions. So now you might get COVID 2 different times and a vaccine, and that's way worse than just getting it one time. And so I think they should have tested. I think you should get tested first for the antibody and see if you've had it. And then if you've had it, I think you should be immune to, or not required to take the vaccine, in my opinion. But I want to say hats off to Dana for making that statement. You know, Dana's a trailblazer and always does what he feels, and he's strong about his opinions, doesn't care what people think. And I think that's a good opinion. I think it's a good statement, and I definitely support it. And I think it's the right decision. And how many UFC fighters have we seen? Remember when they started the pandemic and they started doing shows every weekend, and fighters were dropping off every single week, like every single card, fighters were dropping off. Now there's like none dropping off because they've all had it. They've all well, before the vaccines, they all got it and got rid of it. And I haven't heard of a single fighter in the hospital or sick or dying or on a respirator. Nothing. I haven't heard of anyone.
Listen,
we know.
I've had close to 30 fighters.
Yeah.
Out of all my fighters that are here, I would say 70% or higher have gotten it already. Yeah. And for them, it was the worst case was one fighter was a little bad, but not bad at all. And the worst case out of all my people was one of my photographers who was overweight. And his thing is he had to go to the hospital, and all they did with him is they rehydrated him, so he was back ready to go. But everybody else, some of these guys, the majority of the fighters didn't even know they had it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, even DC got it before his third fight with Stipe. Yep. And he sparred the day with it, and he goes, man, I just don't feel good. And we look, well, you look good in sparring. He goes, no, I don't feel good. And we're like going, and we already had a lot of the fighters here get it, you know, so we all tested negative. But sometimes if you've been in contact with somebody, I guess you don't get it right away sometimes. I don't know. I don't know the way this thing works. All I know is that all of a sudden DC gets it a week after, and then another fighter got it a week after, you know, and bottom line is, what I'm trying to say is none of my fighters have gotten it bad. So basically, if you're in good health, you're younger, you know, if you get it, most of them have been able to survive it. Like the majority of them have been able to get through it like nothing. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to ask that question because, or talk about that headline, because that's going to be the headline that's going to block us on YouTube and get us no views and cancel this entire podcast because we're talking about COVID and
we're just stating facts.
It's true, but we'll do it. This is going to be a test. If we don't get any views and we get shut down, we're going to know.